This episode of Super GG Radio is brought to you by our Patreon. Patrons of the show can get our Dogs of Super GG Radio newsletter, Super GG Radio stickers to slap on your closest PC or bag, input on what we cover, game nights with the hosts, and even a chance to win a copy of an indie we talked about. Not only that, but 90% of all patron contributions go to the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. Visit patreon.com/superggradio to learn more.
What's good, Internet, and welcome to session 245 of Super GG Radio, where friends chat about video games and all things adjacent. I'm your hero of the podcast with clean-ish hands, Eric Getty Gettinger. With me is mass murderer number one, Alex Arona.
Bad guy.
Yeah, we established that. But maybe not as bad as this other dude. Joel, do it.
I am the original bad guy. Duh. I have finished game. I have finished game. Game?
You did?
Game? I finished it.
Is it on the list?
It's on the list. All my other secret beats are still being withheld. I've got my foot on that hose, and I'm just going to let it fly like halfway through this year. You'll have no idea what hit you. Prepare yourself.
I did that today. I did that, or yesterday. What's it? Wednesday. I did that.
It's a lot of games.
You shot your shot too early. That's all I'm saying.
Getty was the one who's like, dude, just do it. Just do it. And I was like, fine, Getty.
You guys make it so difficult to write a podcast and fill out a backlog if I don't know what anybody's playing.
It just means we'll need more video game homework.
It's so painful. All right. Well, we can do that, but how long did it take for us to finish this game? Like 3 months?
Yep. I beat it like a month ago.
And
me and you both beat it.
Hold on. Also, Alec Parks.
I played game.
Alec, you played it to completion.
I played game.
This city.
I got a real bad feeling about this week.
I'm waiting for the day that Alec just looks through or watches a Let's Play and then tries to talk through the episode like he played the game. I'm waiting.
You
for
assume
it.
that hasn't happened with
Right?
one of us before.
You know, that's fair.
I really think that's something you might have done, Joel.
You know what? If I did, I don't remember, so it didn't happen.
All right. Well, we
I've
have an
already
action.
done it.
Wonderful. Action-packed week. We're going to shuffle along in early adopters, fall upwards in the news, then finally turn in our video game homework in the backlog, and delete whatever other game was in the backlog because we should just be able to talk about Dishonored for... How's your hoodie taste, Alex?
That's good.
Am I interrupting your dinner?
No.
Oh, come on. Anybody who wears a hoodie has that impulse at some point, right?
Yeah.
But
That's
it was
why
the
I don't
whole
have
thing.
any.
Aye. All right. We're going to move on to early adopters, where we play alphas, betas, and games that are a waiting simulator. Hey guys, let me tell you about While Waiting.
It's a dumb
Waiting.
game.
All right, Joel, why is it a dumb game?
I like that it's a dumb game.
No,
like, I really... I'm sitting here
with
playing
you.
this, and
it's the dumb game on my wish list. Like,
I was sitting here going like, this is just stupid. Let me keep playing. This is also pretty stupid. So just keep going. This game rules.
So While Waiting is it's almost like little mini levels of point and click, like spot and find or puzzle solving. Every section is just you are a person in some scene where you're waiting for something to happen, and then there are little objectives that you can try to accomplish in each of those scenes. For example, one of the first one was just waiting at a bus stop. And there are different badges you could collect depending on how you affect things like flyers that people are passing out. I don't know about you guys, but I picked those up and promptly let them go, and they flew away in the air. So that was fun.
Yep.
You could pick up a huge cash badge, and then if you got on the bus, you would get the "You're the richest man on the bus" badge.
Oh, I didn't. I think I missed it. It's because it's kind of a small window.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that's the other thing. They're all limited time within a certain spectrum. Like the few times I found that it wasn't limited was there's one where there's a phone, and it's like wait for your game to finish downloading. And the first thing I did out of curiosity was just turn off the phone and just leave it there. And it's just the reflection of this person's dumb face. Looking at it. And I left it there for like 5 minutes and walked away and came back. It was still there. And then the second I turned on the phone, it moved the level forward. So everything's in this very simple storybook hand-drawn style. I feel like we use the phrase storybook pretty often, but it's not overly complex drawing, but it's very cute, fun. Everything's pretty expressive. All the different levels so far through the demo, at least, were unique destinations. So beyond those two, there was like an office building where it was waiting for the elevator to arrive. There's one where it is at an airport, luggage claim area. Mm-hmm. That one was pretty good. Gosh, what else was there?
Bathroom.
Oh, that was...
No, I want to talk about the bathroom, but I'll let you continue on.
All right. Something really funny about the badge claim. And the thing is, you're never going to get all of these badges in one go. There's never enough time to do it. You're spending most of the time just trying to figure out what's interactable.
And it's not possible.
It's not possible because one of the badges is do nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
I did nothing a couple of times.
But the thing is, you revisit or replay those levels, it will have marked which badges you have found already. So it'll only show what's left to get. My
first time playing the bus, I didn't even get the do nothing badge. I got no badges. I just couldn't figure out any of them before the bus got there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was the first level, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was definitely the, like, I'm getting my bearings still experience there. Did you guys ever figure out what the button's supposed to do? There's, what is it, tab? Pulls up a button that you click. What did that do?
No idea.
We never found out?
No, I didn't get that.
Okay.
No.
Because they show it in the little mini tutorial they do. But I did not gather at all from the tutorial what that was supposed to do. So... And the cursor, you don't move with your mouse. You have to do WASD to move it like you were, moving in a 3D space. And it's incredibly slow. Very, very slow. This is a game where you have to have a little bit of patience. And that's my disclaimer. Yeah. But like I had a lot of fun with this. A lot of simple fun with some good humor.
That's what I mean. Is that like I felt like there was like the phone one. I couldn't figure out like how to interact with what like the on screen like on the phone. Like I would try to click and my finger like the finger would press very slightly off of where I was trying to click. So I was like, I think I need a little bit more honing in of some of the controls. I felt
it's
like
a regular phone experience.
Yeah.
You're like here, let me just type a message to my hombres.
Fingers.
Yeah, and then you end up completely misspelling everything.
Yeah, and so in this case, I just kind of felt like that. I got a little frustrated at that. But I just needed a little bit of just tighten it up a little bit. But the rest of it was, again, just like fantastic. The number of like stupid things, because more than half the time the badges are, you just again you have a timer, so you're just sitting there. And what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to putz around. The flyer guy, I just took flyers, walked it over the bulletin board and put it up. Another one until I filled the whole thing, and that was one of the badges where it said, I claim this billboard as mine, or this bulletin board is mine.
And they never show the timer, so you never really know when you're about to be finished on that.
With one exception.
The phone.
The phone?
The phone game.
Okay.
You see it downloading a little.
Did you watch the video?
Yep.
It was Rick Astley.
Oh, I didn't. Where was the video?
There was like a YouTube type player icon.
Oh.
That was one of the options. I really liked the one where you're waiting in traffic.
Yes.
That was
Did
really
you
fun.
get the ducks?
I got the ducks. Oh, I got 2 of them over, and then the car drove away.
And you had to run back.
And you get hit by the cars.
Yes.
and you're able to somehow walk back, but it's just... Or you could just sit in the car and, like, roll the window up and down, and...
I got pooped on.
You got pooped on?
Okay. Yeah, I rolled the window down, and a bird pooped through the window on my hair.
All right.
It's good stuff. Speaking of poop, bathroom level. This was my favorite level. But I've played Don't S Your Pants before.
Oh, yeah.
This is a Flash game from back in the day, but it's also a real-life game that as an adult you may play someday. You walk into the restroom, you are this character, and you have your setup. There's a stall, it's occupied, and then there's another stall next to it. But on the other side of the screen is a can of Spam, and coming out of it is your loaf of Spam. The more you move, the more it starts to jiggle and move out. And it simulates, the turtle head.
Prairie dog.
It took me longer to understand what was happening there than I'd like to admit.
No.
I was like, oh, no. So I didn't quite get into the other stall. I really wish I'd gone back and played the level because I started to get pretty far. So if you went over to the sink, you hit the hot water button enough, it would fog up the mirror. There was a code on the mirror. You take the code to the door that's on the other side, put it in, get into the supply closet. The supply closet requires you to know how many colored cats were in a picture on the other side of the room. So you have to walk back if you don't remember, then get that combination, get scissors, and then after I got the scissors, the other guy left the bathroom, and I was able to get into the stall.
See,
I did not
do that.
ass my pants.
You could do that, or
you could ass your pants.
Or you could walk up to the stall and just keep clicking on the lock. And eventually it'll open.
Have you done that in real life?
No. I'm not.
I was thinking
I'm
that
not a monster.
I don't know, man.
You're a monster.
I don't know. I was thinking that maybe it would be like the Who Duked in the Urinal episode of South Park, because there is a urinal.
I did investigate that, to be fair.
I flushed it twice. Didn't see anything that I could use, so then I walked away. But that Spam visual, man, is real good.
Nope.
Oh, unbelievable. Yeah, I enjoyed my time with this, and it, you know what, it took me by surprise, because usually I see these kind of games, and it's kind of a turn off, like, but yeah, this one captured me. I'm looking forward to it.
You other guys have anything else you want to add to it? No.
Wishlisted.
I'm going to take it. The silence is we're good to move on.
Wishlisted.
So, again, outstanding recommendation for while waiting. Just regular everyday life. Next game. I hope that more than Alex played this. Was this on
I didn't play it.
Next Fest or something?
No, it was available. I think they cut it off on Tuesday. So did you get to it, Getty?
I tried to do it on Sunday.
Oh, it was gone.
And it was gone.
Okay, then skip it. Move on.
So
the game was hashtag blood.
BLUD, and it looked like a Ren and
Blood.
Stimpy game, like in action, and it looked very cool. These things happen. I put in the demo. I whenever I put it in there, I don't just like random. I go to the Steam store and I make sure demo available. Great. I can hit there's a button that says download. Perfect. Okay, it's going in the dock.
Yeah.
This time it wasn't. I put it in there. It looked great, and apparently they removed it. It happens.
It happens. I tried to do that with a cat game a couple weeks ago, except I didn't add it to the document. Cat game.
Cat game.
Not a cat game, so I guess the only other game we have to talk about this week is what I reviewed.
Well, I have a lot of because this game is getting pretty good praise right now.
I mean, the one thing I was still on the fence about adding to the preview that I did for it was the price point, because it is a really good price point too. All right, so let's talk about the Thaumaturge. What do you guys know anything about this? It's Tuesday.
This came out Tuesday? Okay.
Monday. Wait, it was Monday because you were on my case about. Hey,
no. Embargo was Monday. Game came out Tuesday.
Okay, so this game exists in the real world.
Yep.
You guys don't know anything about it. I'll just jump into what it is. You are familiar with. I would probably put it more akin to Disco Elysium in not really the art style, but the movements. It's that isometric, like top-down view of your character as you are exploring. But what the Thaumaturge is, your character, Victor, he is in... It takes place in the early the 1900s in Poland, Russia area. You're exploring Poland, but there's a lot of military occupation by Soviet Russia. And there's a lot of that ongoing throughout the course of the story from what I was able to play. But the real cool thing about this game is that your character can control like mythological demons that exist. When the whole game opens up, Victor isn't looking so great. He hasn't had like a stable connection with his Salutor, and that's what they're called, Salutors. So he goes to find like Rasputin, who is gonna like fix everything for him. Is not such a nice guy. If everybody knows who Rasputin is.
No.
Yep.
Okay.
I do. Yeah.
He's the lover of the Russian queen, right? Ra Rasputin.
Yeah, that's good enough. Use the internet, Joel. But
Rasputin.
He helps you to come to terms with it, and then you're able to engage in combat. So there's a couple of different elements to this game. As you are exploring, you're kind of an investigator, and you're picking up clues and items in the environment that'll increase your core skills. And your core skills are twofold. As you progress through one of the tracks of them, and I'll have to try and remember, but I believe it's mind, reason, like heart, and there's a fourth one. But okay, so you got all four of these tracks. As you find items, you can put like your skill points in there, and then you can interact with items that are like higher level of that. But you use that part of the game to interact with people in the environment. So you'll have conversations with people, and then depending on how much skill you have in a certain category, you can have a different conversation. And then twofold, because how many points you've put into each of these tracks, you get different combat skills. And combat, oh boy, that's just as crazy as all the conversations that you're having. So your character, he's kind of an investigator. He's going around. He's trying to figure out what is haunting this initial village. Mm-hmm. And like you'll go up to people, you'll talk to them, and you'll be like, "Hey, what's going on with this? What's going on with that?" And eventually you find this lady, and you're like, "Hey, can I talk to you?" And she's like, "No," and runs away. And you're like, "Okay, it's kind of weird."
Yeah.
So you follow her, you try and get into her house. No dice. As a matter of fact, after you do that, like 3 like big burly soldiers come up, and they're like, "All right, dude, you're going down." And that's when the combat kicks in. So it's turn-based combat. There's your character, and then there's your Salutor. And I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of this thing, but it's like this. The first one you get is this creepy old guy who's got like a Russian hat. There's no other way to describe it. That's what it is, like the fuzzy hat.
Cylinder thing.
And he's got like this cane, no legs because his like torso is cut off at a certain point and he's just like fabric. But so you see all of the humans like participating in like this fist fight. Like you take your turn, like, all right, I'm going to punch this guy. He comes back and he gives you a bigger punch. And then it's
very JRPG.
Yeah. But then it's your Salutor's turn. And you can either have him try and like damage them, or you can try and steal some of their sanity so that you can do like crazy combos to them. So imagine like it's 3-4 people fighting, so it's you just like fist fighting with some guys, but then your character is like watching behind the scenes as like this creepy guy with a cane is just like disemboweling somebody from behind. It's so crazy.
There's like spectral serpents, like weird ghostly snakes, and a bunch of other creatures, right?
Yeah, you can unlock more, but you have to go through like this whole investigation in order to get the opportunity to capture them for yourself. So where I eventually got, I was able to solve the mystery. I got my second Salutor, and I went to Warsaw, and that's where I got before my save got invalidated. But this game, there's a lot of cool stuff that's going on. The setting is time. It's like a period piece. You've got a lot of the conflict between Poland and Russia back in the day, but also the conversations that go on between the people in the city and the people in the countryside. It's very diverse because you can see what's going on in each of those areas. And there's plenty for you to do, plenty for you to explore. One thing I have to say, and I put this in the preview, and if you play the game, you'll realize it right away. There's a search button that you can hit that'll show you which way to go on the map. Mm-hmm. However, it's the same sound as when you reconnect your Joy-Con to the Switch base. Yes, it's the snap. So I would hit the button and I'd be like, what's going on? And then I did it like 4 more times and I was like, oh yeah, that's a thing. So reusing that sound, it was kind of weird, but the Thaumaturge, it is out this week. It was only $35 at release. That is a steal for something as well put together. And I mean,
yeah, especially if you're like trying to if you
good
like
press too.
Like I mean, Joel, you're playing Disco Elysium, right? Like if you could take that investigative, like, okay, you have to intuit what people are thinking, make these right conversation choices. Mm-hmm. Also, you just get a good feel of like a culture, a chemistry. This feels like a very alive style game where anything can happen. If you miss a clue, if you miss a conversation, the story is different. You miss whole chunks of it. Mm-hmm. And then add in this like Pokemon / summony turn-based RPG mechanics in there. If you want to, like, I mean, if you think about it, like Disco Elysium does kind of drag, but if you have some snappy combat in it, it kind of spices it up a little bit.
I respect the choice that Disco Elysium did with that. I do find myself missing some version of combat or conflict that isn't just a dice roll where Measurehead just beats the living out of me.
Yeah.
This game, Daddy, it definitely looks on the darker end. Is there much in the way of humor through it?
There is, but it also depends on how you play. So one of the other features is that your character has a flaw, and his flaw is pride. So you can feed into it, and that'll allow you to continue to use the conversation option I don't know what it eventually becomes through the course of the game, but to me, that was usually the funniest option. Like, when you encounter this group of 3 guys, they're like, oh, it's going to go down, like, you're going to get beat up, and you're like, show me that, or, like, something obnoxious, like, wouldn't you like to try? But you have different dialogue options, so you can play your way. There's light humor, and, I mean, that Switch noise, it haunts my dreams.
Does it echo? Because the Switch echoes.
Man, I would have to boot it back up and play like 15 minutes to get to it. I don't remember if it echoes. I don't think it does.
You know what, Jetty?
Like
can you take like a clip of that?
I'm sure that I can.
Ooh, that'd be... Joel's ready to stir up some trouble.
Why? What are you gonna do?
Take a clip and put it to either the drive or on that YouTube channel you made.
He's got ideas for the TikToks.
He's got ideas for the TikTok.
I'm trying to lean out of the meme content into something more substantial.
No, go for the memes.
Oh, I'll still put plenty of memes in there, but like, we got to start like fooling people into actually paying attention to what we actually do instead of nostalgia bait shit posting.
I'll allow it.
Thank you.
I wasn't even going to say anything.
Getty might not, but I will.
I don't believe in the internet. I don't even know what I'm doing here. So, yeah. Definitely, if you're into some... I don't even know if the horror element gets leaned into as much through the course of the game, but I would say a isometric investigation with RPG elements, do it.
Now, question, real quick. I have done a pretty good job, just in general. I pride myself in being able to call games for people. Is this in fact a Getty game?
It might be.
Okay, so it's a Getty game. Okay, cool. I got that one right.
From what I played, I would say it's... Yeah, sure.
Yeah, nailed it.
That's all the games we got for this week?
Like 10-0 now.
10-0. Yeah, okay, Alex.
Those are real numbers, but don't
keeping.
ask for data.
Yeah.
Those are real numbers, don't ask for data.
The same thing applies to our bet, right?
What? I don't know what bet you're speaking of.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Don't ask for receipts.
Yeah, we're gonna... Let's do that. Let's go ahead and do some searching through receipts and maybe get ready to file our taxes and take a break here.
Oh, that's what I was supposed to do.
This is Super GG Radio News, now with 40% more nerd rage. All right, Alex, what are you upset about this week?
Right.
Wait, what?
Nerd rage.
What am I mad about? I'm sad, man. Matt Pat's gone. He's leaving. And I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. Saturday's his last day, and I am so upset. Like, I'm beside myself.
Do what now?
Matt Pat.
Do what now?
Never forget Matt Pat.
Who's Matt Pat?
Do what now?
I don't talk about it anymore.
All right, news this week is whatever that is. All right, Gravity Rush 2 being remastered for PC and the PlayStation 5. Okay.
Joel, how hype are you? You're muted, Joel.
If it's a $10 upgrade, I will be happy to revisit that. those games are still great. I'm glad that there's another bite at the apple for them.
It's just the second one.
That's still the first one's out there on PSN.
Not on PC though.
I don't care.
Okay. I thought you would want to go
doesn't
PC.
care.
I thought you would want to go PC just so you could be like, well, Sony, I don't need this PlayStation 5. I could just play it on my PC. That's what I was thinking.
Well, I've got a PS4 copy of the second one anyway, so I'm set even if they don't do it. I'm just happy people have the opportunity to now.
Yep.
Nice. Nope, not that one. That one?
Getty is picking and choosing the news. Like, oh,
No, I'm fancying up my Steam page. Back to my profile. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Ghost of Tsushima coming to PC with rumors of maybe a sequel? Maybe?
Well, I mean,
Or
there's
is that
probably going
just
to be
presumed?
No,
I don't know. Is this
the leaker?
is this news?
There was a leaker that said that they were going to announce Ghost of Tsushima in March and then a sequel in May. But the thing is though is that it did happen. Like they announced Ghost of Tsushima for PC in March. Like this happened this week.
Can we just take a second to appreciate use of the word leaker? All right. At least
that's a
Alec giggled.
that's a very specific word that only applies to a few scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's more the fact of that like there is a difference between like a journalist doing investigative reporting and then like somebody from the inside giving insider information.
Oh
and,
no,
like,
I was talking about somebody that whizzes on stuff.
Okay.
Let's not be confused. I don't know what journalism is. I barely passed that class in high school.
Ooh, me too. You took a class in high school?
Journalism.
Easy
You know what we did in that, in that
wasn't.
class? We read Tuesdays with Maury.
Oh, I read that like last year. Book was depressing.
Is that before or after you read Dune?
Or-
the reduning.
Or 5 people
like
you meet in heaven.
Did you read that too? Did you read The
Is that-
Cabin?
Is that a book?
Yeah. Same guy.
Chicken soup for the soul.
I've never read that.
Really?
Should I be reading these?
Yeah, of course.
Why not?
Literacy is important.
Every recommendation here is worth its weight in gold.
That's not what I'm doing.
Recommendations
I'm reading-
from the NPR of Illinois Super GG Radio.
Wait, is that still a thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
That doesn't seem...
It's okay. They don't know we exist. This is a secret podcast.
See me on their Oscar podcast.
All our podcasts are secret podcasts. Oh. So, wait, is this episode more secret than others? Am I missing something?
Well, we'll see after the numbers come in.
All right, number 1. After Suicide Squad game disappoints, who's they?
I mean,
All
who
right,
didn't
so
disappoint Gary?
they double down on live service game and move away from AAA.
WB.
Who's
Warner
they?
Brothers.
It was WB.
The Warner Brothers?
Yes.
What about the Warner sister?
Dot?
Yeah.
Dot. She's not involved.
Okay, good for her.
No, so they have said that that's where they're focusing now is on live service games.
Okay.
Which again,
That's a bad idea.
I mean, Batman. What was it? No, it wasn't even Batman. What was it? Our Gotham Knights didn't do great, and then
Gotham.
I'm surprised you didn't call it that. I said did not great. And Suicide Squad Kills Justice League also.
Do you think they need tax breaks for canceling games the way that they do for movies?
I mean, they've canceled.
Probably.
Like they just got in trouble because they canceled another movie.
What was that the
Yeah,
Roadrunner and
Wile E.
Wile E.
Coyote versus Acme.
Yeah. So that's
It was done and
that's
done.
officially dead.
Oh well, I mean, the online petitions are.
Okay, I thought I read somewhere that they were shopping it out to places, but
I think the
fell
team
through.
who made it.
Okay.
No, I think the team who made it are trying to be like, no, if we could get money, maybe then they'll let it go.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna go anywhere.
All right. You feel better now? Nope.
With what?
Good. Mass Effect board game is coming out. Do we need a Mass Effect board game?
We need a board game for everything.
It's setup time. Half the time it takes to play Mass Effect 3.
How long is that?
That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's like 30 hours.
That
sounds about right.
60-hour game?
If you're good.
It's a 100-hour game?
You're objectively bad at video games, then probably.
It's a 120-hour video game?
This keeps getting worse for you, Joel.
Oh, I thought Alec was
last one was for me. Yeah.
What are we doing with this?
This is a cool thing.
Well, hold on. Before we even entertain the idea of Mass Effect, the board game, how is Bloodborne, the board game?
Well, I'll let you know once me and you get together and play it. You'd have to answer a text, Getty. You'd have to answer a text with not like a GIF of what.
This? I don't know what a phone is.
Let me look through the text again and find out what you just sent me a GIF.
I don't have a phone.
That's not how that works at all.
Throws it off screen. Oh, my work phone? I don't have this either.
Oh, well, here's just a picture of you
throw that
shrugging at me. Just like an emoji of you shrugging it. You sent me the video for Jason Derulo's Wiggle.
I stand by that decision.
I don't know what it means. Like, there's no response.
Yeah, Alex.
That was like, hey, Getty, you want to hang out? And you're like, here's Jason Derulo's Wiggle Wiggle.
Boop, 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 boop. I mean, just a little
yes.
wiggle.
It's a good song. But that's still... Anyway.
All right, so Mass Effect board game. Hold on. Let me just glance through this quickly. Will launch later this year. Fan favorite characters: Liara, Tali, Rex, Garrus on the planet of Hagalaras. Prominently featured in the DLC from Mass Effect 2, Lair of the Shadow Broker. Shepard will be infiltrating a crashed research cruiser. Okay, well, that's kind of fun.
Oh, and just to confirm, because I was looking something else up. Yeah, also a friend of the podcast who used to be our editor, Steve. He's obsessed with these board games now, and he's the one that sent this to me. And also, he was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, they also released the Divinity Original Sin board game." And I was like, I looked it up. Yep, came out January.
That's just Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reviews aren't looking good on that one though.
Well, I mean, if that took people half as long to set it up as the game took, then I understand. Probably PO'd about it. All right.
Gotta schedule all those people.
Next thing to do. Persona 3 Reloaded DLC roadmap. We got music this month.
Yep.
May for costumes.
Yep.
What costumes?
Everyone dressed as the attendants of the what is it called? Where, man, I'm blanking right now. I'm very tired. Where you go and fuse personas. Velvet Room. Your all Velvet Room attendee costumes.
And then the Answer post-story content in September.
Yep. So there is a character. There was always in the FES. There was a very long post endgame like dungeon that like with story beats that take probably like 30 hours, and it's Aegis. I don't think you've met yet. She's a robot. She is the leader of the team, and it was called The Answer. So they are. It was kind of like it's this. The idea was that when Persona, the idea of Persona 3, or Persona 5, and then Persona 5 Royal. You guys are aware of that?
No. What's that?
Well, that is not a new concept for Atlas. There was Persona 3 and then Persona 3 FES. FES came
Was
with
there Persona 4 and then Persona 4 Golden?
Which, again, is the same idea where they add post-game story.
I'm going to change my middle name to post-game story.
So that's what this is that because it was the part that was missing from FES, which was the post-game story.
What does FES stand for?
It is the extraction squad. It is that's what the Phantom Thieves, they were called they were called C's. So what was
C's?
FES?
I don't know.
What was FES?
I feel like you're just making stuff up
that didn't
now.
answer my question.
No, it didn't. Hey, y'all know about... Jeez, this desk is falling apart. Y'all know about Sinking City 2? That's a game. It's announced. That's news.
Apparently it's Festival.
Okay.
Festival.
Okay.
Persona 3 Festival. Okay. Yeah, Sinking City. Getty, didn't you play Sinking City?
No, did you?
No, I thought that was what was the game that you guys played that was the Cthulhu monster game.
Man, you're going to have to be a lot more specific.
Wait, are you sure
played
you didn't
like
play
a-
this game? I
like
thought
a
you
dozen
I thought you streamed.
Yeah, we
Cthulhu
played
games.
it. I was there with you and Steve.
I played a Cthulhu game called
that?
The Call of Cthulhu.
Oh, was that the one we all played together at your house?
It could be.
Guys, do all Cthulhu games look the same?
Yes.
Kind of.
Yeah.
They're basically the same thing.
I mean, you
I
have to,
played In Sound Mind.
No, I was saying the one me and you sat on your couch and Steve. played.
It was The Call of Cthulhu.
Okay, there you go. So there's another one. You got to imagine, Joel, that those stories took place in the same time frame.
Okay.
There's not too often that you get like a modern take on it. The Color Out in Space with Nick Cage was a modern day Cthulhu story.
Is that what this is, though? Is this modern? Okay.
No.
Yeah, it's all old-timey, like, what's going on with these Cthulhus?
Yep.
Bunch of Cthulhus moving into my neighborhood.
That's how that works. Dead
I'm
on.
going to go get my bowler hat and my
Nailed it.
trench coat.
Yep.
My revolver's only got 6 shots.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Come on.
I'm yes-anding you. I'm not going to stop you, Getty. You're going to keep going. I'm yes-anding the entire time.
This is all going to be a bit. I know it. All right. Virtua Fighter reboot rumored.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys know about Virtua Fighter? You know what that is?
That was my ideal 3D fighter. Everyone's like, oh, Tekken, Soul Calibur. Nope. Virtua Fighter, son.
The best
I miss
part of
blocking
Virtua
it.
Fighter was getting rainouts.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, that was a good strategy. And they've actually been like tinkering with this for a while. Like one of the characters from Virtua Fighter has been in like the last 2 Tekkens. So they've been kind of leaning into like just dipping the toes in. Like, hey, you guys like Virtua Fighter? Anybody?
You know where else you can play Virtua Fighter without
I know
buying it?
exactly where you can play Virtua Fighter, Getty.
like a dragon?
Like a dragon.
Like a dragon.
Like a dragon.
Yakuza like a dragon.
I want to say in Yakuza 0, but I'd have to double check on that.
I would believe it. They have those arcades that you can go to.
Yeah.
Man, I was playing. I'm very ashamed of my Like a Dragon time because I went in there and you don't have to do any of that stuff.
Nope.
And I went to every single machine and I got every single stuffed cat that I possibly could. I
Very
played that
nice.
claw game like nobody's business.
I'm waiting for you to play Infinite Wealth and all of a sudden being like, why am I doing Animal Crossing?
I
just
mean,
do a
I
bunch of
probably
Animal
will.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it to drop.
Yep. Well, it just came out this year, so you got time.
This is my relaxing year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna play.
You're killing it. You're
I'm
killing it.
gonna
on
play
relaxing.
this thing at some point. I didn't even take it out of the wrapper. This is still a sealed deluxe edition of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Go ahead and go on Amazon and see how much that costs.
Not enough I'd buy it. But
Markup on it is stupid for no reason.
yep.
I only paid what did I say, like $1.50 for it? Trade-ins.
You had a lot of games to
Trade-ins. That's how you do it, Joel. None of this wholesale trash.
Someday.
You get like the power boost or whatever they call it when you trade in games that are like brand new, or trade in towards a game that's brand new.
You're talking about like the GameStops of the world?
Yeah.
I try to buy and sell
GameStops.
local. Sorry.
Okay.
My GameStop's local.
Yeah, local to me.
my house.
Well, PS4 version on Amazon is $190.
All right.
I think that's the wrong game. I think that's Remake.
Oh, it is.
Rebirth is not on PS4.
Rebirth.
Rebirth.
It's too powerful.
Deluxe.
What's next? It's too powerful. What's next?
I guess there's a Fallout TV show, and the trailer came out today. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of what I want from Fallout. Like
Is
I
this
don't.
different from the teaser trailer that was released last year?
Yes,
Yes.
you get the character, you get actual character information, and you get like more of a story of what's happening in it. I don't like I like the Fallout aesthetic. I like the world. I don't like playing those games.
Yeah, this seems like the ideal way to consume Fallout.
Yeah, right. And that's what I mean is that stuff is happening. I'm getting a lot of good character moments. It's more focused, and you get three characters that you're kind of switching between and getting stories about. You get the Vault Dweller, a female character. Then you get the mutant sheriff, and you get one of the guys from the Brotherhood of Steel. And you get three perspectives on the wasteland. It looks cool. They got the tone, they got the aesthetic, they got the details. So I'm very excited for this.
Good. Get excited.
This
Makes
is
me want to go back and
hashtag
play.
my Fallout.
That's like how Monster Hunter now is my Monster Hunter until
Messed
you
up, Getty. That's messed
hit
up.
that second beat, and then you can't get them to drop anything. It's trash.
I mean, yes, but I also don't think they should just play Monster Hunter with me.
Nope, not gonna happen. You should play Fallout with me.
I would. You don't want to play games with me.
Maybe you're just asking to play the wrong games.
Next.
Speaking of games, hey, you guys like freebies?
Freebies.
Freebies!
Freebies.
Insert it here. There's so many.
There's so many. Yeah, air horns all over the place. Maybe some cowbell? Should we get that on here too?
We're also going to omit, like, we could swear for this one time.
Yeah, I was going to ask, am I allowed to say this title?
Yes, go for it.
All right, first one is Holy Shit on Steam.
And again, I'm reading the Steam description here. It's a quote. Click to the shit and collected many points.
That's the whole thing?
That's the description. End of description. Very positive reviews. And it seems to be a clicker. It's a clicker.
Okay.
Yeah.
I swear we talked about this one before because I remember installing it.
Oh, I don't know. Next.
All right, well, next up, Demons Infernalize on Steam.
Bullet hell survival game with minimalistic gameplay, a la a Vampire Survivor style game. Fight as a fire spirit in the magical snow planet. Survive as long as you can until your soul goes out. Burn those ice people and complete the levels. Upgrade yourself and become the true... Oh, here we go. True survivor in the magical snow planet. Joel, is this installed already?
Maybe.
There we go.
Good. Next, Nomads of Driftland, the Forgotten Passage over on GOG.
It's an RTS game. Let's see. I'm trying to find it. A fusion of RTS, 4X strategy, and sim genres. That seems like all of the same genre, but I'm generalizing. Fantasy world made up of the shattered planet. This is confusing. A powerful mage ruler capable of moving and reshaping parts of the planet. Both game mechanics and history are based on an innovative concept of dynamic topography and issuing orders to individuals with free will. Nomads of Driftland.
I just blacked out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Next.
were words.
Yeah,
Those were
they
words.
sure were. Small radios, big televisions on fire-face.com.
The reason for this is that you should Google this game, mainly to support somebody. This person made a game called Small Radios, Big Television. Tilt-shift camera shooter. And it was part of WB Games, and then WB said we're no longer going to have this game on stores. We're just going to get rid of it, delist it. And he said, well, I'm going to put it on my own website. So fire-face.com and look for the games. fire-face.com. Small radios, big television. Download it direct. Get the file and enjoy yourself some shooter. It looks good, 3D, really well modeled. Very bright and silly shooter. It looks to be like a multiplayer shooter. So
We're
I'm gonna get it.
Next, we have Race Trap over on Steam.
So this one is I'm very curious. I'm gonna try this one out. Y'all remember Ultimate Chicken Horse?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I will imagine Ultimate Chicken Horse, but then you have to go-kart race. So you put traps on the track, and then you have to race through it and see who could win.
Is it me?
Did
Did I win?
I like the concept of that.
Yeah, and I'm very curious how it plays out. I'm gonna test this out. It is in early access, so it might be worth doing some content on if it plays as well as the premise.
Yep, already added.
There we go.
Street Fighter
got-
the movie.
Street Fighter the movie on YouTube.
This is a new thing. Street Fighter the movie is fully on YouTube. So watch Street Fighter the movie. Raul Julia's last film. Jean-Claude Van Damme is the American Guile.
There actually is like a really smart line from that movie. It was something like, for you that day was the worst day of your life. For me, that was a Tuesday. Something like that. I was like, that's a cool line. Oh, gotta give it
He
that.
controls like missiles through like the arcade joystick and buttons, and he's just jamming on the buttons. And there's a lot of things that are good about this. They all do their kind of superpowers. Like Ryu does the Hadouken like movement, and the screen like flashes real quick.
Oh, okay. All right.
And like Ken does a little spin punch that's supposed to be his uppercut. Like they do the stupid stuff. And at the end, after they defeated everybody, they all do their like, yeah, like we won, like pose.
A winner is you.
Like even Guile like takes his comb and like brushes his hair, like, and they freeze frame everybody in their win pose. It's a classic. I'm gonna find that.
All right, you do that. Until then, we still have 3 more. There's Zenith, The Last City on MetaQuest.
1 second, I'm getting that.
Okay. You just want me to move on to the next one?
No, I have it here. And this okay, Zenith: The Last City is it's a Fortnite-like, but first person and VR.
All right.
Build, upgrade, and shoot your enemies, and use swords and whatever in a battle royale. It actually kind of looks like the artwork looks like Fortnite as well, so it looks pretty cool.
I thought he said shoot yourself, but okay. Next, Astro Duel over on Epic Game Store.
Okay, we had that one too, and I lost it.
You're so tired tonight.
I am. I think this one's a shooter. Astro Duel. I believe it's Astro Duel 2.
Okay.
It is.
It's Astro Duel 2. This is a shooter. Sci-fi combat game combining top-down space dogfights with up-close platforming action. Whether versus or co-op, battle through space and on foot in the same time. So there's like a shooting element that looks a little like Galaga, and then you pop out of your ship, and now you're a platforming pixel art guy. And there is combat where you sometimes have to do both. And if you're playing multiplayer, you could try to take each other out both ways. Be outside of a building shooting Galaga-like laser beams in your spaceship, and then hop out into the like a platforming area and fight each other with laser pistols. It's really kind of fluid how fast you go back and forth between,
cool.
either side. So,
last one. 20 small mazes over on Steam.
It is what it says in the tin. 20 small mazes.
Cool. All right. Let's regroup, take a quick break, and we'll be back. So good. All right. And we're back. Back with the Backlog Blogs. Oh my god. It's not going to happen, guys. I'm not going to make it. I've seen some stuff. I've seen some stuff. I'm just thinking about the Skull and Bones picture again. It's not good. Okay. All right, we're definitely back with the Backlog Blog, and we definitely played Dishonored. Well, 75% of the podcast finished it, so let's do this. Dishonored. I subjected you to it. It is a wonderful, I think it's wonderful, first-person stealth game where you play as Corvo, who is been accused of murdering his lover and the queen of the kingdom, banished to jail, and you must come back, defeat those who have shamed you, and, just choose your path. That's one of the real hooks of the game.
Was he a lover?
Yeah.
I knew he was her bodyguard.
And partner.
Yeah.
I never got
to... And I know that part of the revenge story, too, is trying to save her daughter. Yeah,
but I thought
that was he was
made sure that she ascends to the throne, I assume.
Yeah, but I thought that was I thought that he was just a bodyguard. I never knew that he was.
I didn't connect that either.
Yeah, I didn't either.
It's lore. I think you had to read all of the stuff.
Read.
I think that one of the letters that you find towards the end of the game is from the queen, and it's like, please look after your daughter.
Oh, is that his kid then? Okay.
Yep. That is
I never
his
put
kid.
that together.
And you get to play as her in the second game, so.
I kind of like it better if it's not.
Why?
I just So in the game, you are the intro is that you're going to go see the queen and the daughter or the girl you bodyguard for, and then of course instantly assassinated right in front of you, which is kind of wild. It's like, I'm the bodyguard, here I am. Wait, what? And then pretty quick.
So you didn't play hide and seek?
I did.
Bad guy.
Fair.
Wow.
Yeah,
that might be the worst thing you did.
Yeah.
I mean, you do not play hide and seek with that little girl.
You don't
She's
know
your
the
daughter. What kind of father
I
are you?
know that. I didn't know that.
He's the worst kind.
And that's why I say that I like it better. It's probably why I like it better if it's not your daughter. Because I did some stuff. Did some real evil stuff.
I don't like that.
And that's actually, we'll get to that at the ending part. But there is that's also part of it, is that you rub off on her.
Yeah.
And she's like, I want to murder like you do.
Yeah, and she can in the second game.
Yeah.
Because you could play as either... He plays the whole family.
But let's go back. Let's go back into the game. It is an immersive sim, which is generally the genre. And that has to do with a lot of times when you have access to... Like you have to eat, or you have the ability to like pick up almost everything. That's kind of where that, like, at least games like that, where you could just like pick up everything. You sometimes have to work about food or sanity or something to that extent. But in this case, you just have access to everything in the environment, and you're trying to get revenge, and you go through these very specific missions. A guy who you're friends with will take you on a boat to where he drops you off and goes, okay, you have your mission, go do it, and then I will be waiting for you. And then how you do it is really what makes the game so enthralling. You get these big, pretty much open maps in a lot of cases. They're not massive or sprawling, but they are in-depth and intricate, with layers and levels and just all of these different pieces to them that you, like, unless you fully... like one map, you can sit there for like 6 hours and just get every nook and cranny, because there's storylines, there's side content, there's conversations with people and different ways to go about things, and hidden tokens that'll help you level up or give you new perks, and there's just a lot there. And I feel like that's what makes this game so fun, is that just how you explore it, right? I remember when I first played this, I tried to do a run where I didn't kill anybody, and you have the option. You have ways to knock people unconscious, tranquilize them, even just don't be seen at all, right? Yep. You get like an ability to teleport short distances. You get abilities to call swarms of rats. You get you get all these different, see in the dark, and they really give you a good toolbox. And they also give you a good sandbox. They give you all of these opportunities. And I like the fact that I just kept finding new things. I remember one mission, you sneak into a castle. And I being the bad guy, because I decided, because I did a pretty close to passive run when I first played. So I said, this time I'm just going to go full murder hobo. And I murdered my way throughout the entire castle, killed the person I was supposed to kill, and upon leaving, I was running from like a whole army of enemies because I was not being quiet. And I open a door, and a guy goes, hey, I'm just the engineer. I just work here. I don't like these people, but you know what? If you want, I can lower the water, and you can get into the castle through the aqueduct. You can do whatever you want. And so what I mean is that, like, I had not explored that. I was going from the rooftop to rooftop and going through and silently killing everybody. But this guy was sitting here waiting. I could have gone in with no trouble, not murdered anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
There's that mission where you're returning from being captured partway through and being an insurgent back in the city.
You talking about the twist? Should we... take a step back before we talk about the twist, or you want to just jump right into it?
I'm not sure we're talking about the same thing.
You said when you're returning from being betrayed.
Sorry,
So
I was talking more about when you're in the city. Yeah, okay, we'll save it for later.
Yeah.
Jump into it. Nah.
No, we'll jump into it. But before, let me preface it. Dishonored is a story in a couple of parts. So the first half, you are seeking revenge from all of those known usurpers who helped to conspire against the queen and kill her. And then in the second half, the people who helped you to get revenge also betray you. And then Corvo is stripped of all of his gear and left in the bad part of town, like the sunken part of town, in order to pick himself up again and try and save the rest of the city and try and save his daughter once again.
That area's rough with all those plant monster things that spit venom at you, and you don't really feel like you have much verticality and spaces to hide. And their grenades is all you had to go off of, and it was a real victory when I finally got the gear back on there.
I had the my teleport ability was pretty much what I would do. So I was just constant like teleport.
Mm-hmm.
I was just constantly like I didn't even walk at a certain point.
Yeah.
I stopped walking and I just started teleporting.
I really clung to the teleport ability pretty much through the entire run I had. It's such an invaluable tool, especially when you're looking for specific ledges that you want to get to while you're climbing the walls. And there's a cool icon. It shows an arrow on certain angles where it's saying like you're going to automatically step up on there, so you don't need to worry about spacing out the blink at the right spot. Gosh, once I figured out how much you need to be relying on scaling buildings to try to be secretive, that's where everything clicked. And this game won me over, guys. Like this is a very, very cool game. And it has a story, but it's not trying to be like this crazy big melodramatic thing. And you have just these playgrounds to explore in, and you've got these objectives, but there's just all sorts of things you could go investigate and execute, and it was really good. But
there's whole like, again, if you don't know what can happen unless like it just like sometimes things would just happen to me. There was one part where I was scaling around a building and I fell. And I was like, oh, crap, I completely, like, biffed it. And I'm like, well, I better reload. And I fell on a whole, like the main level was just a straight corridor of buildings. But there was a whole back section that had a whole bunch of upgrades that I just, like, randomly, like, oh, I didn't, like, and, like, and lore, like, lore bits. And I was like, oh, there's this whole back section. And I just started hopping up the back section. And I completely superseded the entire middle ground with all the guards.
Yep.
Because I didn't even, and I again, completely on accident, you could just stumble into these different places and happenstance, and you're like, I don't know how I didn't even realize any of this was here, and you get into these situations where it's like it's just amazing to me that they have interjected 17 different variables to happen, where at any given time you're like, oh, go to this fancy dinner party and escape through the sewer, escape the way you came, get into a gunfight with random people. Like you could just like a duel, and like how did you do the duel? I did the duel differently than you did the duel. Like all of these different pieces are there. Can you suss out who the people are at the party? I didn't need to because I threatened them all, and they all just went, oh crap, I probably should go. And, like that kind of thing. You can really play with the game, because again, like, I threatened people, but you definitely didn't need to do that. You could do it all just polite conversation, and that's what I mean, is that like it's just the game is there for you to play, and it's so cool.
There's this moment in that mission where you're sieging the main town, and you run into the salespeople, the shop workers, and they're talking about like, if you get us this material, we can build this thing that you can disable or disarm all the people around here, and you'll have cleared the city. And you go through that process, and they give you the also at once they're ready. Oh, or we could trigger it to where it kills everything,
vaporizes everyone.
Everything. I chose vaporize.
Of course,
and
you did.
well, I was too far gone at that point. I was like, I may as well go full heal on this. The way they cheer and like are so excited about the slaughtering they just did in that one device. It was really awful mad scientist stuff.
What did you guys do for the duel? Did you do the duel?
Yes.
I did.
Okay. What did you guys do? Because
Trank Dart.
What?
Trank Dart.
Coward.
Oh, okay. And what'd you do?
I shot him. What do you think?
But didn't everyone get pissed?
Yeah.
I didn't see it. No one got pissed for me. I set a mine. So when
set
they
a
went to go near, it all blew up.
Okay. Yeah, that solves.
And so there was no
That solves the
witnesses.
problem.
Nobody. Yeah, and no one was around. No one was alarmed. Everyone was just dead. And I was like, oh, cool. I'm gonna go and grab your stuff. Here's a bag of gold for me. Here's some bullets for me.
Oh, yeah. I'd love... So there's a lot of different ways that you can play, but pickpocketing, you can do that. You just go up behind people, pickpocket, take all of their items. If you knock them unconscious or you kill them, you take all their items too. But there's a lot of different treasure to be had. I'm interested to see what Alec has to say. I know he didn't get the opportunity to make it all the way through, but he did do his homework. So
I did do some of my homework. I got solid halfway through. Or no, not even. Because there's 12 missions, right?
No, I think it's 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you made it over halfway through.
Then I did.
What was your last mission?
I don't even remember anymore.
Did you get betrayed?
Yes.
Okay, then you had like 2 more.
Okay. No, first-person shooters are not my kind of game. That's why I had such a hard time getting through this. I saw a lot of good things in it. It was really enjoyable. The sandbox that you had, the way that you could go through it however you wanted. Granted, it forced my hand, and I went through in a very high chaos manner.
Yeah.
Forced your hand.
Yes.
Like you all thought you were going to be stealthy.
I didn't.
I wanted to be.
I always made a fair attempt to try to be stealthy or covert. The problem is that my fail rate was very high.
I wouldn't. I had a fun game where I would, like, you know how they like, oh, here's bottles everywhere. I would hit people with bottles and then I'd stab them through the neck. Hey, check this out. Wham. Stab.
Does it smell like chloroform to you?
Yeah. So it would just, that's how it was for me. I would be like, oh, check us out. Bam. Nailed it.
I like to imagine that Joel was the kind of guy that was like, all right, I'm just going to, crouch down, like lean around the corner, nobody's there, and then he goes to move around the corner, and there's just a guy, and he's like, hey, what are you doing here? That kind of
happened to be so many times.
And then immediately take out the shotgun and blast him. Yeah.
That was instinct for me. I had it always prepared, like go around corners. Hey.
So
yeah,
which did you prefer, the crossbow or the pistol then?
I was all about the crossbow.
Yeah. A little bit
If I was
stealthier.
far away, it was crossbow. But if I was like right in my face, it's pistol.
I didn't really bother with the crossbow until the later half, but that's when I really found it useful. Very, very useful.
The sleep darts.
Because he ran out of bullets.
The sleep darts.
That played into it.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
Also, the fire darts are also very good.
The incendiary, yeah.
Yes.
Now, you have lots of tools that you can utilize. Alex is talking about the mine. You can set up mines. There's rewire tools so that you can turn your enemies' gadgets against them. So there's
those electrified gates.
It's called a wall of light. That's the actual technical term for it. And you could go to
I kept changing those and then just like at a certain, again, there's like, you guys are like, oh, I'm trying to get around. And I'm like, no. And I hit the gate and then I would just start throwing bottles so they would come through the gate.
And vaporize them.
Yeah, they would do it themselves. I'm like, hey. And it's like, I could totally get around the gate now. Nope. I don't need to get around the gate. I need you dead.
Yeah. I'm really biased when it comes to Dishonored. This is one of those games that I played it again, and then I will always, given the opportunity to play it, when I first played it, would read every single note, had to go and find all of the paintings, because you just like, you start to experience these characters, and you see it, and it's like, okay, there's Sokolov. He's the guy that created the healing tonic that you use throughout the course of the game. He's also a crazy scientist, and he's a painter. So you can go around and you can find all of these paintings that he made. You even see him painting one of the pictures at the beginning of the game. But they build up these characters, they build up this story so that it's kind of like, it can be a redemption story, and it can just be like, man, you went crazy and you murdered everybody. And that's why there's multiple endings to it, to make you feel bad. Or maybe good.
Yeah, it depends. Because at this, she's your daughter, which I didn't know. She's like, I want to murder like you, and I was like, yes, you do.
I was going to have them all murdered anyway.
And it's there is a lot of lore to it. I remember when I was playing this the first time, I was definitely scavenging and scrounging, and this time I was going for the paintings because I really liked the idea that like you would find these like hidden paintings and stuff.
And they're worth a lot of money.
But I think that for me, it's about the game is about putting you in those situations where like I definitely remember in the mansion, the main villain's mansion, that I was going from chandelier to chandelier and just like, hey, did you hear that noise? And I'm like, nobody heard it. Nobody heard a thing. Yeah, it just like
did. I'll murder you.
Yeah, and making those narrow escapes, the time freeze or time slowdown. I would walk into a room, hit it, and then just go 1, 2, 3, and then unfreeze time, and they would all just. Because if you like Joel, I don't know if you realize it, but if you fired like a bullet, it would be in slowdown as well.
Yeah.
So I could fire 3 times and then just like wait. Okay.
No, I did not realize that.
Yeah, that's how you can cheese your way through a lot of the really tough situations.
Okay. Yeah. And there are people who do these like really crazy like finesse runs where they'll shoot like an arrow into the air, jump down, kill 2 people, and the arrow will come down and kill the third. You know, like there are trick shots in this. There are YouTube trick shots of Dishonored, and it's just so cool that they give you those tools to make it like whatever kind of game you want, and that's like, and then you get these immersive stories that you are only you, right? It seemed like the one universal constant for me, Getty, and I think a couple other people were that we were trying to go for like full no like sneaking, no death, no kill runs, and like trank somebody and then they fall off of a bridge.
Oh,
there goes your entire no kill run. You know what I mean? It's just stuff like that where like that's a story. And it's a cool story. It's a funny one, and you can tell that to people, and that's where this game does like the best, is just having these like stories. Like I'm again making myself the bad guy was my own internal story, and it worked out perfectly in the way that I wanted it to. I was going through also at one point and was like wet bandits, and I was turning all the faucets on. Like just stupid stuff, but it's fun. You can do it, and it gives you your own. It makes you have agency. It makes you your story, not anybody else's.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I always found the alternative to killing the people was usually more entertaining. I know that there's nothing more satisfying than like cornering one of these bad guys and straight up just like shooting them in the face. But to take the head inquisitor and brand him as a traitor to the country and nobody can do anything about it, and then he becomes an outcast. It's just something poetic about it. So you can play it one way, you can play it the other way. At the end of the day, you are Corvo. We didn't even get to talk about the outsider and all of the lore that is with him, this like shadow being that is offering you these special abilities so that you can combat against those that have betrayed him and give you the opportunity for revenge or redemption.
And then don't you get like a cult that worship him, and you keep finding his you can find shrines to the outsider.
And you have those occasional visions where he lays down some cryptic messaging and lets you do that to work. Yeah.
And I believe the DLC is about him, right?
There's, multiple DLCs with him involved. But there's the heart that he gives you right at the beginning of the game that allows you to hear, like, people's thoughts. And, yeah. There's just I remember getting
cool a lot of lore from that because I would just sit, like, an inch above characters' heads, like on a rooftop, and then just have the heart and just listen to what they're saying. And you get like what they're thinking, and it's really cool because again you get that additional level of like who's this person and what do they do, like important story characters.
Now, did they ever confirm in any of the lore or anything that it was the outsiders' powers that really got the Empress killed? Because that's what all the assassins coming in looked like they had, was all the same powers that you get.
Yeah, I mean, I think he pretty much acknowledges it right off the get-go, because I want to say that Joel has probably finished it the most recently, but who's the like main bandit guy? Does his name start with a D or something? Like, hold on.
Yeah,
I know this guy.
I can't pull the name.
But yeah, you're dead on, Alec. He already has these powers that have been granted to him by the Outsider, and there are people throughout the course of the history of Dunwall that end up with these abilities because of the Outsider. But yeah, it's pretty much just acknowledged, like, yeah, I gave this guy these powers, and this is what he did with them. So the Outsider plays people. I mean, he's a supreme being,
and he gives people powers, but he can't. Yeah, he can't control their will. So
he's not omniscient.
Yeah.
No.
So because of that, he doesn't always have to like what they're doing. He's just like, crap, I gave him this guy powers, and he's kind of about it.
I'll just ask one more thing before we wrap this up, because we're going a little bit long, but I'm really glad that the conversation went places. How you guys feel about Granny Rags?
Oh man, that girl is nuts, and I helped her in every way I could.
So at the beginning, Granny Rags is a character that you can run into, and she'll ask you to, do something like pretty innocuous, like poison the potion supply for the local street gang. Mm. And then by the end of the game, Granny Rags is, trying to sacrifice the leader of that same street gang.
Yep.
Nice.
There was one where she's like, this. I have a suitor who won't take no for an answer, and he's constantly knocking on my door, and it was the gang harassing her.
Yep.
And she's like, go convince him not to leave me alone.
Yes.
And I opened the door, blam, and she's like, thank you. I was like, that was easy.
They were convinced.
But there was like a whole conversation you could have. You can convince them otherwise, or you can get them to leave him alone or whatever. But just shot him in the face.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's got a story arc of her own that's pretty fun, and she somehow has there's hints that she has powers, right? She does show off that she has some
she gets
abilities.
Crazy at the end. Joel, you looked real confused. Did you not experience the power of Granny Rags?
This. No, I somehow I really did try to just beeline through the story. And
yeah, it's starting in the first map. She was just in one of the houses.
Yeah.
And that's what I also, again, there's just the end. You could just find whole houses.
Yeah, and my mindset really, it started as I have to get through this, and then it became I want to see where the story goes. And once I get into that funnel, it's tough to pull back out to try to, see the side stuff.
It was while you were escaping through the sewers of one of the other areas that she has this whole crazy ritual site set up. So maybe if you didn't interact with her in the first place, she doesn't appear. But yeah. You run into her and you can fight her. And that's a crazy battle because she keeps turning into rats.
Yeah.
I was like, no, thank you, please. I hid by standing on a crate, and then I would use my eyes because that was my favorite ability. You could use your eyes to summon the Outsider and see through walls. You could find objects and sight enemies. Yeah, just so much cool about this game. All right, I hope
Joel, you had a statement about getting your stuff back or anything like that. What were you going to say before?
No, we captured what I was trying to say.
Yeah,
we're good.
I just wanted to throw in hey, just so you know, there's double betrayal. Double betrayal. Okay, it's customary on this podcast that we assign a fighting rank score to the games that we do for homework. Once again, I'm completely biased. I will go first, and I will set the tone. This is an S-rank game. You can't prove me wrong. Alex.
I thought this when I played it. I played it a while ago, and I was like, this is a great game. I still want to play the sequel. I still own it. I just haven't got around to playing it. But I loved my experience with the first one. I liked my experience in playing it a second time just because I definitely made it my own. And I felt like that was a very fun way to do it, especially with the game giving you the ability to do so. S rank.
Ooh, Joel?
My biggest compliment for this game is that I've been trying to think about where I slot in playing the sequel this year. I really want to see where the story goes from there. Now that I know the actual toolkit or environment that they lock you into, sandbox, I guess it really gives me the foundational knowledge that I think I could build off of it when playing the second game. And then after talking with you guys, I want to go back on the first one and see what I missed and experience those arcs, myself. So through that all alone, my biggest complaint being that I had to figure out where to play it, A+.
Nice. And then Alec?
So I always struggle with these because I can see the game and take it as the whole of the game itself, and I can take my experience with it. And first-person shooters are not my cup of tea, so that makes me want to lower its grade. But that's my failing, not a failing on Dishonored at all. So I'm going to have to give it an A.
You don't have to give it anything.
I do have to give it. It deserves it. The game deserves that A.
Okay. Well, you did get to see some of the endings, so did that give you a feeling of fulfillment in the end?
Yes, I enjoyed. I went to YouTube and hit up all the endings, and I enjoyed seeing the differences.
And I don't think we even talked about it, but depending on how you play, either high chaos or low chaos, it affects the entire environment. There will be more death, more mayhem, more chaos. If you
more of those the people that are sick, and a lot more rats.
And a lot more rats. The plague takes over.
There's a lot of like those sections where the rats are just like hurting. They can hurt you, and that doesn't always exist.
It changes the tone pretty quickly too. It quickly goes from sneaking into this like survival horror-ish kind of thing.
Yeah, it's how you play. All right, we will head over to one last thing. I didn't write this one last thing. Did somebody else write this?
Are you sure?
Okay. Maybe I did. I don't remember, but this week's one last thing is brought to you by, let's say, The Lion King? Let's call it The Lion King. And then I'm going to switch up the order here a little bit. I'm going to let Alec go first.
So my daughter's actually doing a production of The Lion King right now.
Nice.
So that's extra funny. I'm looking forward to dusting off the computer after my hiatus for the last 2 weeks almost, and getting some game time in.
Ooh. All right, Joel?
I need to figure out time to play RoboCop. I've done my homework now. I've eaten my vegetables. It's time to dive into dessert. So,
got to get that RoboCop. Alex?
Before I went on my trip, because I went out of town for a little bit, I decided, I was like, well, I kind of wanted to see if I could get like Epic Game Store running on my Steam Deck, and I did the whole thing where I hooked it up to a monitor and a keyboard and mouse, and I was able to do it. And then so now I'm kind of in the world of tinkering with my Steam Deck. I've changed the way the games look. I've changed the UI. I can clear caches on games individually now. I can do a couple. I try not to go too far, because I know that I don't want to like have it. I don't want a Linux like situation where all of a sudden like half of it doesn't boot sometimes. So I'm trying to keep it limited. But one of the things I just did this week was I got my PS5 streaming to it, so I could just hit a button on the Steam Deck like normally. Like it looks like it says, PlayStation Stream on it in my library. I click on that, it wakes up my PlayStation, and then I'm on my PlayStation 5. And I will say that was kind of a pain in the butt. Like that, like originally getting on the Steam Deck and then putting an Epic Game Store. Oh my God, good old games. I got GOG on there. Oh boy, all my Amazon games. Who plays their Amazon games? I can now.
Will he? No.
No,
but they're there.
They're there. I have access to them, and that's phenomenal. Getting a PlayStation streaming on your Steam Deck is a pain in the butt, and I don't think it is worth it. Do I like? So I was sitting there, and I was like, do I want a PlayStation Portal? And the answer is, I don't think I do. So, but I was like, maybe I should do a Steam Deck first, because buying a $250, $300 PlayStation Portal seems like a poor decision.
A little bit.
Where are you going to pay $300 for it?
It's $200, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's only $200. Yeah.
That's still a lot more than I probably should spend on something that I can do with my Steam Deck. So I did it, and I was like, great, now I can do it. And then I haven't played it on my Steam Deck, and I'm like just playing it on my TV. So but it answered the question for me: do I need a PlayStation Portal? And the answer is no. I don't need a PlayStation Portal.
All right. There was a long journey to get there, but we got there. And my one last thing. I mean, I gotta make it through Persona 3 so that I can play Final Fantasy, right? So let's do that. More to come. And that'll be it for this week's episode of Super GG Radio. Before we go, you can find us on X at Super GG Radio and twitch.tv/Super GG Radio, where Thursdays, much like tonight, you can watch us streaming live. Humans in front of your very eyes. If you're not into that kind of thing, you could always watch Joel play Disco Elysium?
Possibly.
On
Monday?
Mondays? On Mondays. Or you could watch... Alex, are you playing Monster Hunter?
I thought, you know what? I'm going to switch it up, and I'm going to play Apex Legends. And then I played Apex Legends, and it just reminded me, I'm not good at Apex Legends. I'm going back to Monster Hunter.
So Alex will be back on his Monster Hunter Rise.
Wednesdays.
That's right, Friends Days. It's like a Wednesday, but funnier. No,
Hey,
all right.
Guess what day it is?
It's Thursday.
I'm not doing that.
It's Friday.
No, I was saying it's hump day.
Nope, don't say that. All right, if you'd like to reach us with questions or input, our email address is mail@superggradio.com, and provide us a review on iTunes or the podcast app of your choice. Thanks for listening, and good game, Joel.
Good game.
Good game, Alex.
GG Getty.
Good game, Alec.
Good game.